Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's Tuesday night. It's Healthy Love Night right here on kevinstew.com and affiliates around the globe. Welcome, 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 welcome to each and every one of you. I want to say big ups to those locked in from across the pond, One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Big ups to those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. WGLRO, home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show. Donnie is on vacation, but the home still is there. The home is still in place. Want to say big ups also to those locked in on the newest member of the family. I almost said WGLRO again. No, Reggae Global Radio taking the place by storm. I want to say big ups to those that presented before me. Rupity, Naturalist. You know, I like that little conflict that y'all have going on there. But it's nothing but love. I like it. I want to say big ups to those locked in on PEMGTV.com. And of course, right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. So glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you. You have my word, I wouldn't even try. Kicking it off with a young lady that has the soca world weak. Little Jesselie Caldero, daughter of Leon Caldero. It's called SOCA, Soca. For those that have a little bit of trouble with the spelling. Invite you all to call a friend, tell a friend, call an enemy, tell an enemy. Tell somebody, anybody. Uses to make a friend. Healthy Love is on. And we'll be on till midnight. That's Eastern time. Wherever you are in the world, I'll be on for the next 101, 52 minutes. But who's counting? I want to say big ups to those on Facebook Live. Remember, it's only temporary. And I want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. This segment of the broadcast. Pulse Media Group, and being in the moment is priceless. Give them a call. 754-999-6020. You can reach out to them online at pulsemg.com, and they can do everything you see here on kevinstew.com. They can host your site. They can provide streaming services on your site. They can stream your event. And if you want to take it a step further and you want to have your own internet TV station, they can hook you up with that too. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you when you call them. 754-999-6020 or pulsemg.com. Reggae Global listeners in the chat, in the Reggae Global chat, big ups to you too. What do you say? Oh, so just a little stutter. S-O-C-A. Yeah, that's how we spell it in soca. You know, the way to spell it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed one bit. For those of us that have youngsters in the United States, the young schoolers, as we all like to call them in Jamaica. Right now, in these times, we know that education is a bit challenging. And, well, the method by which we our children are learning, and young adults, and even some of our adults, those of us who have decided in our later years to go back to school and earn various degrees, we find that we have to be doing it virtually. Now, especially for the youngsters, we've always told them, hey, listen, do not spend too much time in front of the screen, whether it be the TV, the tablet, the phone, whichever screen, the computer. You need to go outside. You need to do something else. You need to give your eyes a break. You need to. But now, it's a little bit different. Because now, that's the only way some of our children can go to school. Because physical schools are not open. Now, there are some schools here and there that are physically open. We don't know how long that will last, if it will last. But this has become our new norm for now. It's that we have to be online a lot. And yeah, there are some people who are tuned in right now that are tuned in to me via my website, via kevinstew.com. There are some that are tuned in by the other platforms that are simulcasting the show. Reggae Global Radio, One Harmony Radio, Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, WGLRO, various platforms. So, but on the other platforms, they're listening. On kevinstew.com, they're watching. So, yet still, here we go, we're on another screen. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that indifferent? So here comes the question, how much is too much? So in these COVID times, we're taking a look at screen time. Now, most of our children, we are aware of, are doing online learning. And there are some things that you should do. It is recommended that we do to protect our children's eyes. Because no doubt about it, these screens can wreak havoc on our eyesight. Now, first of all, it is important for children to spend time playing outdoors. How that works in a situation where you're social distancing, it can be a little bit tricky. But if your children have siblings, then that makes it a little bit easier. Since studies have shut down the spending of time outside, it's one of the things that we need to be creative in making happen, especially early in childhood. Because doing so can slow the progression of nearsightedness. It is also recommended that you don't let your child use a device outside or in brightly lit areas. At the same time, they shouldn't be using it in a dark area either, because both can cause discomfort and eye strain. Children should stop using devices 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, since blue light can disrupt sleep. And if you're wondering what blue light is, it's really just the light that comes off most of our screens, most of these devices with screens. I use 4 screens as I am doing this show. Even right now, I have 4 screens up, and they all have blue light filters. Every one of them, all 4 of them. In fact, 5 if you include the handheld device, and even that has a blue light filter. So even more so for our children, we need to be mindful of these things. If your teen doesn't want to shut down 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, have them switch to night mode in order to reduce blue light exposure. It doesn't remove it altogether, but it reduces it. Other preventative steps include setting a timer to remind your child to take a break every 20 minutes, and marking books with paper clips every few chapters. Yeah, even with the physical book, it is recommended that they take breaks. Give your eyes a break. And, in your eyes, there are muscles also. So they're tiny muscles, but muscles nonetheless. They're not as big as your thighs. I should hope they're not as big as your thighs, but they're still muscles. And they too need a break. So, encouraging them to take a break from even reading a book. And there are some bookworms out there, not calling any names, but I want to say big up to Reggae Global Management, Mr. Managing Director. Not calling any names though. So we have some bookworms out there. But every now and then you want to encourage them to take a break, use a paper clip, and there's nothing like having the pages of a book between your fingers as you flip the pages and you go through. There are some children today that, outside of those first books, the ones that they can kind of chew on, yeah, outside of those, most of the reading that they do are on digital devices. So we need to encourage the taking of breaks to rest the eyes. These things, these little things, can make a big difference. So when we talk about screen time and we ask the question about the duration of time that will be considered too much time, what is it that we're looking at? Because let's face it, we are all on our screens, and we're on our screens a lot. According to Psychology Today, this article from back in December 2018, it is not just the children that are doing this. And this raises a question: how much screen time is too much screen time? There have been a discussion whether to make too much of the risks posed by screens on various articles, in various articles. And Mike Brooks, PhD, says his position is that there are legitimate concerns about how we are being affected by our screens. But the sky, well, it's not falling. When we use our screens mindfully and strategically, we can get more of the benefits and reduce some of the negatives. According to the market research group Nielsen, adults spend over 11 hours a day interacting with media. That's interesting. That's a high number. That is up from 9 hours and 32 minutes in 2014. So in 2020, I wonder what that research finding would be. Of those 11 hours, 4 hours and 46 minutes are spent watching TV. According to oft-cited 2016 report by Common Sense Media, teens spend an average of 9 hours a day interacting with media, not including time spent for school or homework. Now in 2020, that time would be significantly different. For children aged 8 to 12, the same Common Sense Media survey report found that they spent 6 hours per day interacting with media. Kids aged 2 to 5 spend around 32 hours per week in front of a screen, whether it be watching TV, watching videos, playing video gaming, round about 5.5 hours. Children aged, round about 32 hours a week. Children aged 2 to 5. That's almost an adult work week. And we know how tired we get working a 40-hour week. So could it be just as tiring? I'm thinking now, could it be just as tiring for 2-year-olds or who are looking at these screens for about 32 hours a week? It is clear that a lot of time is being spent with screens. Yet there are problems with even gathering these data. Most researchers rely on self-reports, which are notoriously unreliable. Just as people have trouble remembering what they had for lunch yesterday. Now that I'm thinking about it, what did I have for lunch yesterday? I don't even remember what I remember what I had for lunch today. Now I remember, thanks. But people have trouble remembering what they were doing as it relates to media consumption across multiple platforms and devices. Now, moreover, in some research, the time spent on media is double counted or even triple counted, as it is in the Common Sense Media report. That is, if a teen has the TV on while they have a smartphone in hand, then that screen time is counted twice. While the teen might spend 2 clock hours watching a movie, 4 hours of media, that media time is counted because they were interacting periodically with that device in the hand, whether it be a smartphone or a tablet, whatever it is. And that was while the movie is playing. So they have two screens that they're interacting with. And this can lead to a deceptively high number of total hours spent daily interacting with media. Another important limitation of the research involves well or ill being. How would we even know if too much time is spent on the screen? What would that look like? There would have to be negative effects in some form or another. But we would have to agree on the metric for what is considered well-being. Are we measuring depression, anxiety, stress, happiness, sleep quality, or sleep quantity? Are we measuring grades or satisfaction with friends? What is the unit of measurement? What are we using? Now, depending on what metric is actually being used for positive or negative outcomes, we would find very different answers for how much screen time is too much. Experts are never going to be able to provide a definitive answer for how much screen time is too much. It just won't happen. Simply put, life and people are complicated. There are so many variables involved that at best, we can only say it depends on fill in the blank. So some of these variables might influence our screen and how it affects us. Characteristics of the person. So you're talking about their gender, their personality. These are variables that can affect how the screens affect that individual. Then there's the characteristics of the context. So it's either playing a video game alone or versus online with strangers or in person with friends. There is the format, being a tablet, a game console, a phone, even a virtual reality headset. In fact, I still want to get one of those. Then there's a type of media. Social media, video games, TV, as in, could be tutorials, it could be streaming movies or streaming shows, those platforms. Then there's the characteristics of that media. Violent movies, video games, pornography, sexting, high action, low action, strategy versus action. That's the characteristics of the media. Then there's the consuming versus the creating. So you're talking about watching videos on streaming platforms of people being slimmed down versus how to play chess, or playing a video game versus programming and developing a video game. Very different. One is consuming, one is creating. But those two affect how that screen time may affect an individual. Then there's a time or frequency involved, being whether it be 2 hours a day versus 10 hours a day, or checking your phone 30 times a day versus 200 times in a day. And then there's a timing. Are you using social media while sitting on the couch or driving down the freeway at 70 miles an hour? A college student texting friends between classes or during class lectures. So you can see here where it depends is the best answer when it comes to how much screen time is too much. Depends on the situation, depends on the type of screen time that you're enjoying. It depends on what you're viewing. How much is too much pornography for a young child to watch? Any at all. How much social media interacting is too much for a teen driving on the highway? You know, these things are real. So for such scenarios, anything above 0 would be too much. How about an adult who is using a word processor to write a book or a blog? Or developing an app to make it easier for people to donate to charities? That now is a little more difficult to answer. Assuming that person, that individual, is still meeting basic needs: sleep, exercise, movement, in-person interaction, social interactions, you know, maybe they could spend 10 to 12 hours each day engaged in such screen time and then experience positive effects without any noteworthy ill effects. So the variables are many. Where do you draw the line? How do you know that too much screen time is just that? Too much screen time. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll talk some more. We're going to also say sayonara to Facebook Live. Come on over. kevinstew.com. Jump in the stew pot and interact with us there. Those who are on Reggae Global Radio and are choosing to share in that chat room, I get it. Those on PEMG TV, welcome. But I do encourage everybody to use the phone line. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can share what your experience is. Jump into the stew pot. Others call it a chat room, but we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com. We call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. So come on in. It's a judgment-free zone. You don't have to sign into anything. Once you go on the website, boom, you're watching live, and bam, you're there in the chat room. You can give your comments and remain anonymous. All right. So in the meantime, in between time, we're going to take a quick little break. Facebook, deuces to you. Come on over, kevinstew.com. We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Thompson.
I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word in honor.
Jordan, representing for G-Funk. Hey, Isaac, I don't wanna feel you. Look at no. You say I'm the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. Me see the ants, I follow the father. Way I take you the son and them daughter. You say I'm the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. So push a blank, be a little father. Way I take you the son and them daughter. Youth, no ill treat them. Why you mislead them? When them right, you fi show them when them wrong. You fi tell them, set a foundation for the youth them stand. Before them learn so the youth them turn. No say you can't fool them, so me I beg you, please cool them. Cause the youth they are the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. Me see the ants, I follow the father. Way I take you the son and them daughter. Youth they are the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. So push a blank, be a little father. Way I take you the son and them daughter. Me never grow with no father, just my mother one. She fight it like a man, car food off in yam. She never give up on me, no, she never give up on me. Mommy, me know you try your best, that's why me I go do the rest. All the struggle and the pain, can't wait till the day me tell you don't work again. You say I'm the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. Me see the ants, I follow the father. Way I take you the son and them daughter. You say I'm the future. I'm more life when a girl of a youth. So push a blank, be a little father. Way I take you
welcome you back to the broadcast.
You fi show them when them wrong.
In the background, the sound of Jadan. Track called Youths, They Are the Future. From his album 369.
Youths, they are the future.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor Althea and her healing heavenly hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She brings her table, she brings her oils, and of course her healing heavenly hands. She comes COVID free and would preferably like to leave that way. So if you think you have COVID, don't call her. If you can prove you don't have COVID, feel free. 954-655-9000. Or you can email her at thealater@att.net. She only requests one thing outside of paying her, that you get off her table when she's done and go sleep somewhere else. Thank you, Althea. I can't wait to get my massage. I didn't get one last week. I need to get a massage this week. I definitely need to get a massage this week. Miss Thea, line up yourself, please. I need a massage this week. Alright, for those of you who haven't gotten one yet, you know the number. 954-655-9000. Call her and book your spot. Or email her, thealater@att.net. You know, if you're flying into Florida and you can prove that you're COVID free. Because, listen, it might sound kind of funny, and some people make fun of it, but it's real. And the level of discomfort, if nothing else, is real high. And I don't think anybody wants to be experiencing that level of discomfort. So, you know, let's be mindful of others when it comes to our interactions, especially if we believe that we have been exposed. Get tested. Do the quarantining. Okay? Let's take care of each other. All right, so as we continue with our topic tonight, we're looking at COVID screen time. And in the hope of not necessarily answering, but addressing the whole idea of how much screen time is too much screen time. And figuring out where you draw the line when it comes to screen time. Most typical screen use would be categorized as beneficial or at least benign. But still, just as much as we can eat too much of healthy food, we can use screen time so much that the cons start to outweigh the pros. The negatives start to outweigh the positives. And even so, not some magical line that is crossed and the person experiences a steep drop off. It could be a gradual shift such that the negatives start to outweigh the positives on certain metrics of well-being. The point is, for many, if not most, screen use can slowly and quietly leach away some of our well-being and productivity. We have a hard time setting limits with our screens because really and truly they're just gripping. They're so compelling. Technology companies use persuasive design to get and keep our eyes on the screens. like companies peddling unhealthy products, unhealthy food products to be specific. Tech companies will use every trick they can to get our attention because that's how they make money. So, we end up on our screens just a little bit longer and a little bit more frequently than we should be. And that's to the detriment of our well-being. So it ends up being contributing to our ill-being. But still, there's some controversy about this whole aspect of it. And the negative effects from typical overuse may be subtle and mild. And it's easy to call them mild, to be honest. Because like with liver degeneration, if you're an alcoholic, you don't really realize it until it's too far gone. Or, well, not necessarily too far gone, but well far gone. So, when is it that you recognize it? Now, barring extremes in screen usage, the negative effects would start to outweigh the positives when they interfere too much with our basic needs. So, if a teen is learning to do programming, and they end up only getting 4 hours of sleep because of it, then they're going to suffer. I can relate to that. Chronic sleep deprivation contributes to significant problems in physical and psychological well-being. But it's a whole lot worse for children than it is for adults. And those people that know me kind of know that Stu kind of off a little bit already. But on a serious note, it can psychologically affect our children when there is sleep deprivation. So the recurring question pops up: how much is too much? Using again the "it depends" when it comes to recreational screen time for children and teens. There's a recommendation that 1 to 2 hours on a school day is a reasonable amount of screen time. And on weekends and holidays, 3 to 4 hours of recreational screen time is a reasonable amount. There are more guidelines than limits when adopting these numbers. And there would be many more exceptions. But still, it is helpful to have some general guidelines in mind. And looking at our society today, where screen time is basically the way of life. Schools are not open. Once again, we come back to this. Schools are not open. So a significant portion of the day is spent on a screen, whether it is learning time or recreational time. So this concept from 2018 really gets thrown out of whack in 2020, because everything that we're doing is done on the screen now. We spend so much more of our waking hours in front of a screen. But even, all right, I'm gonna take my personal example is right now. This 2 hour of screen time in presenting this broadcast would be 8 hours of screen time. I have 4 screens. So instead of doubling up with someone watching TV and having the phone in hand, mine is quadrupled. reframing the question of how much screen time is too much. It might be said that too much screen time might interfere with opportunities to gain greater benefits that experiencing a larger variety of activity offers. For instance, no matter how many benefits Johnny gains from playing Minecraft with his friends, at some point they would receive different and or greater benefits from playing hide and seek outside or building an actual fort with their hands. Here's the thing, that type of interaction now encourages problem solving skills. Not to say that the game, the computer game, the digital strategies that you're adopting wouldn't be useful. But you're using theoretical within certain already defined parameters to determine an outcome. Whereas together going and playing hide and seek, now you're thinking and applying that logic right there practically. Can I hide behind this wall? Is it big enough for me to hide here and not be seen from where the seekers currently are? Would this be a good hiding spot under this bench? You know, so now they get to apply certain this logic, not based on a finite or predetermined parameters as the games typically have. And take nothing away from these developers. They make these games so that it seems like you have created a whole lot. And I'm guilty of being stuck on some video games for hours. For me, it's playing soccer on my console. And so much so, there have been a number of times that I have been determined to either break the console or break the disc. Because it is so gripping. And this is, funny enough, I'd be using that to de-stress from a day of being on a screen with people. Weird, right? I guess it's, again, how you apply what it is that you're doing. For teens, parents will need to back off trying to enforce too many limits. It's very difficult to police teens' their screen time, and it can often backfire. The teens can be a little bit fickle, and at this point, we might just ensure that they have screens out their rooms at certain times of the night, or just off. You know, encourage them to have that level of discipline within themselves, especially on school nights. So they're getting enough sleep, which is necessary for them to learn even better, or to absorb better in the learning environment as they are again on screens. Also, we might enforce family smartphone usage policies, such as barring phones during meals. Now, of course, we need to model a balanced use of screens ourselves as adults. For the holidays, it's okay to binge on some screens. Like overeating on the holidays, which seems to happen all the time. We just don't want to make it a habit. Nobody overeats all the time, but come Thanksgiving, Everybody is stuffed just like the turkey. Remember that there are so many other wonderful activities to do with a family. So explore some of those. And there are a bunch of them that don't involve screens. My family, I remember we used to, the night before every public holiday, or the majority of public holidays, would be a games night. And we would choose that night or on the public holiday itself and start earlier in the day. But we would choose a night before, because what tends to happen is that we would go way into the night. And this is just cousins and aunts and uncles. We all just get together at one location and we just game it out. And we're playing board games. We have 2 teams and we just challenge each other. And this was one of the most memorable moments in my life. And this is something that we did as we started doing while I was an adult. My children haven't had the benefit of this experience. Not yet, anyway. And the family, as we knew it, we have gone all over the country. Well, all over the states. This was in Jamaica. The majority of us have left Jamaica, and we're all over the United States now. And now our interaction is on screen. So boom, we're back to the screens. But there are a bunch of things that we can do as families, because now we have our own families. We can apply those very same things that we did as a larger unit. We can break it down to a smaller unit and have that interactive time. We're not making any sacrifices by limiting our screen time when we engage in these other enjoyable, need-satisfying activities. Because that board game is not a board game. If you understand what I'm saying. That BOARD game is not necessarily a BORED game. And it's not necessarily such a bad thing to be bored and play board games. Because being bored often actually encourages thinking. It encourages the use of the imagination. And I bet a lot of people didn't really look at it that way. But yes, it does. So, you don't want to be too hard on the board games. So, looking at our children today, they have grown up with a wide array of electronic devices at their fingertips. In fact, they cannot imagine a world without a smartphone or without tablets and computers and the internet. When I can remember having a TV with one channel to watch. Nothing like cable TV, nothing like those streaming services that give you shows and movies. They weren't, not even in imagination. Not in mine. Not in my friends. But now we have grown to see that this is a real thing. Technology today have grown leaps and bounds. Parents are the first generation who have to figure out how to limit screen time for children. Those who are parents know. The 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds. We are the ones who have to be creating this template for which the next generation will be operating off. While digital devices can provide endless hours of entertainment and they can offer educational content, unlimited screen time, that can cause a whole lot of problems. And this is according to verywellfamily.com. They say the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends parents place a reasonable limit on entertainment media. Despite those recommendations, children between the ages of 8 and 18 average 7.5 hours of entertainment media per day, according to a 2010 study by Henry J. Kaiser Family Foundation. But it's not just kids who are getting too much screen time. Bum bum bum. And here it is. It's important to understand how much, as in too much screen time, could be harming everyone in the family. So, what are the negative effects of too much screen time? Well, we're going to find out in just a moment. We're going to take another quick little break. When we come back, we're going to look at what could possibly be the negative effects of too much screen time. Again, I do encourage you to share with us your experiences, and when we come back, I'll give you the number once again. But kevinstew.com, jump into the stew pot. Let's be interactive. We'll be right back after just a few messages. Not a whole lot, just a few. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today?
The only thing I didn't learn?
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse eMedia Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. So no matter how bad the situation is that you find yourself in right now, remember say you're in control. It's up to you, you know? You can choose to stay in that negative situation, that negative environment, or you can just be brave and strong and bold and just walk away from it, you know what I mean? It's up to you, up to you. You can start this at any time. It's up to you, up to you. Are your body and are your mind. Alright, so no get distracted with the tricks in my send and the vibes in my bring. When it's all said and done, you in charge, not him. It's another life, you pro you a live. Listen this. Another night under stress. Him stink from the liquor and the goddamn cess. Your mind want sleep, but him well want sex. Plus your body in a pain from the licks where you get. But you're afraid cause you know how him flex. If you no let off him, we beat you to death. So you decide alright and you go spread your legs. But you're still nervous, no one make the wrong step. Hey, question yo, stop and check. You're not happy, so what kind of sense this make? I want place this I lead down, I made the rest. So take the advice right now. It's up to you, up to you. You can start this at any time. It's up to you, up to you. Are your body and are your mind. Alright, so no get distracted with the tricks in my send and the vibes in my bring. When it's all said and done, you in charge, not him. It's another life, you pro you a live. Listen this, rotted when you're in a public. You can't disagree or act outlandish. Cause you know him ladies more like him kid. If you no fall in line, you guarantee a fat lip. This and this part is this. No one knows cause you never talk it. We put on a show like everything crisp, but you're dying inside and you're physically sick. My girl, yo, please answer this. What is your plans? What's your objective? If I love you, I seek, mommy, this is not it. So take me advice right now. It's up to you, up to you. You can start this at any time. It's up to you, up to you. Are your body and are your mind. Alright, so no get distracted with the tricks in my send and the vibes in my bring. When it's all said and done, you win.
I want to welcome y'all back to the broadcast.
Yo, you are live. Listen this, make we pray. God, me a
Your Revelation Dixon. Big ups to you, bro.
And stay and only you can convince her to get away. Another thing, me understand, say she free.
Want to say thanks to my segment sponsor, Reggae Global Entertainment.
Is our mental state, she don't feel she enough.
Reggae Global can take care of your tour management. They can be your booking agents.
We hurt her, them already stayed.
They can look about your copyrights, your publishings, business registration, music production, press releases, marketing and promotion, and so much more.
It's at any time, it's up to you, up to you.
Give them a call, 954-998-8034.
So she's taking for the game. But oh God, please help me explain that anyone will hurt her.
Or you can visit them at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
Taught me attack at the end of the day. It's up to you, up to you. You can start this at any time. It's up.
Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you.
Are your body and are your mind. Alright, so no get distracted with the tricks in my send and the vibes in my bring. When it's all said and done, you in charge, not him.
The sound of Caramanti. A track called It's Up to You from the album Hurt People. Yeah, you know what they say about hurt people, right? Hurt people hurt people. Yeah. It can be a little bit tricky. And things can get a little bit testy. But still, it's not the end of it. And it will not be the end of it. So, welcome back. Welcome back. I did say that I would share with you guys the numbers to call, number to call, number to text, number to WhatsApp. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Skype me if you're overseas and want to share and don't know how Skype works. Kevin.stew is a Skype handle. Of course, you can jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com and be interactive there. It's a judgment-free zone. We just ask that you keep things clean. Others call what the stew pot is a chat room, but because we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com, we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things bubbling and interactive, yeah? So there it is. Those of you on the stew pot, you're watching on kevinstew.com, you can see the phone number scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. Yeah. Cool. And again, thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the show, of the broadcast. I need to stop calling it a show, because it's not really a show per se. It's a broadcast. It's where we learn something together. Whether it is something being presented for the first time, or something that hasn't been presented in a long time, or something viewed in a whole totally different way. Like tomorrow on Real Talk, I'm going to be looking at something that I don't know of many people being familiar with. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. But tonight, we're looking a little bit at screen time in this COVID time. And we know that the amount of time spent on screens are looking at screens have increased substantially or exponentially in the last, we're already in September. So definitely for the past 9 months. Whether you keep the TV on all the time, or the whole family sits around staring at their smartphones, too much screen time can be harmful. And so we're going to be looking at some of the negative effects of too much screen time. Researchers actually have some input in this, and here's what they say. There can be behavioral problems. Elementary school age children who watch TV or use a computer more than 2 hours per day are more likely to have emotional, social, and attention problems. Let's take a stop just for a moment. So these are elementary school children. Our elementary school children right now are learning online. How much screen time are they getting? So is this to say that we are now running the risk of having more emotional and social and attention problems with our elementary school children who in the next 5 years are moving to middle school and possibly high school? So are we setting up ourselves for failure? Then there are educational problems. Again, with the elementary school age children. Those that have televisions in their bedrooms actually do worse on academic testing. Then there's an effect on obesity. Too much time engaging in sedentary activity, such as watching TV and playing video games, can be a risk factor for becoming overweight. Pause again. I mentioned earlier about taking breaks from the screens. Here it is, talking about sedentary activity. There are a lot of jobs today that require you to sit for the majority of the day in front of a screen. You might remember I did a show on the benefits of taking breaks and how to increase productivity by way of taking breaks. Here, it addresses obesity. And so, not sitting around all day, every day, in front of a screen can reduce the possibility of becoming obese. Then you have sleep problems. And although many parents use TV to wind down before bed, screen time before bed can backfire. The light emitted from screens interferes with the sleep cycle in the brain and can lead to insomnia. It's funny. I currently have a TV in my room, and I don't remember the last time I saw the screen. There's a picture, right? There's a piece of artwork that is actually in front of my TV screen. It's not a large TV. It's sitting on top of a chest of drawers. And there's a piece of artwork that is sitting in front of the screen. That TV isn't even plugged in. Sometimes I forget that the TV is there. I can't say that TV has ever been watched in the bedroom since I moved to my new home. To my current house. And I've been at that house, 2 years? TV hasn't been turned on in the bedroom. Then there's the effect of exposure to violent TV shows, movies, music, and video games. This can cause children to become desensitized to violence. Eventually, they may use violence to solve problems and may imitate what they see on TV. And according to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, this is a very real thing. Digital devices can actually harm family relationships also. Most of the conversations about the dangers of screen time focus on children. But it is important to recognize that adults may experience many of the same harmful effects as well, like obesity and sleep problems. But even if you are not experiencing any tangible health problems stemming from your digital device use, there's a good chance your electronics could be harming your relationship with your child. In a 2015 survey by AVG Technologies, 1/3 of children reported feeling unimportant when their parents looked at their smartphones during meals or when playing together. You see how detrimental our screens can be? Even replying to a quick message could be sending your child another message. The message that your phone is more important than they are. Giving your child uninterrupted care by repeatedly checking giving your child interrupted care by repeatedly checking your smartphone could also affect their development and mental health. A 2016 study suggests looking at your digital devices could increase your child's chances of developing mental health problems like depression. However, many parents would say, give the child the device because that would keep them quiet. That would keep them out of your hair for a time. Is that what we really want to do, though? Do we want to keep them out of our hair? Do we want to separate ourselves from our children? Do we want to separate from each other? Telling your child to turn off his video games while you're sitting in front of the TV actually won't do much good. It is important for you to set healthy limits on your electronics on the use of your electronics for your own sake as adults. But it's also important to do it to your children and for your children. Here are some suggestions as it relates to household rules with devices. No digital devices during family meals. No electronics during family fun nights. No screen time in the car. No screens allowed in the bedroom. Alright, so that last one, the no screens allowed in the bedroom. There are some people that use screens to enhance their bedroom lives. And that's just the reality of it. You know, not beating around the bush, not putting a weird spin on things. You know, they use, and it's not just in a sexual sense. There are people that watch various self-help programs and they watch it together as a unit because now they want to be on the same wavelength as it comes to growth and development. So now it takes us back to that first part in the broadcast when we were talking about the various ways in which you can look at screen use. You know, the length of time and the type of use. You know, all these things are variables. That's the word I was looking for. The variables involved. And the different ways to look at the screen use. So we're in the bedroom watching this program on the self-help program. How to communicate better with your partner. How to communicate better with your children. How to utilize your time better. These are all things, and there are programs that you'd watch. And they're presented in various ways, and sometimes it is in the bedroom that you would be partaking of these programs. So does it mean that you have to do away with that? Consider an occasional digital detox. For me, I know that would be very difficult because the majority of what I do is digital. But consider it for the whole family. When you take a vacation, disconnect. And even if it is a staycation, try to disconnect. Create a screen-free night once a week, or commit to unplugging one weekend a month. It could be just what the doctor ordered for everyone in the family. It could help your physical well-being. It could help your emotional well-being. It could help just the bond that exists in the family. But you won't know until you try. There are some people who they can't do without social media. That in and of itself is kind of dangerous. And I think I did a broadcast, I did a program looking at the effects of social media. Maybe I need to revisit that. The health effects of social media. Maybe we really need to revisit that. But the new reality right now is that our families are spending a whole lot more time in front of screens. And in doing so, there can be a lot of negative effects. So, but you can't just cut that out cold turkey. And nobody's saying to avoid screens altogether. It is just to find that balance, that healthy balance. And US News has a wellness article that says, in it they say, they recommend taking some steps to striking a healthy balance when it comes to devices. First being to cut yourself some slack. Do whatever it is that you need to do right now to get your footing. And that includes not enforcing screen time rules or schedules just yet, if you cannot be bothered. Remembering that not all screen time is bad. Understand, teach, and create awareness about the value of different types of technology and social media. Because they're not all created equal. Especially in these times. And here it is, where you want to embrace boredom. Pre-pandemic, our worlds were whizzing past us so quickly that we could easily distract ourselves from feeling bored or facing unpleasant feelings, but not anymore. Finding meaningful ways to spend your time is a life skill that is important for children to learn. And I want to look at that one a little bit more before I get into musical therapy. Because when we're bored, we are forced to use our imagination. And you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. When you're bored, you need to get out of that feeling. So what do? You create. So boredom can influence a state of creativity. We have to settle back into our bodies, but because we're all normally so busy with work, taking children to extracurricular activities and so many other things, most of us have not felt grounded in our own bodies for a while. And during this time, try to help your children themselves to feel grounded also. That feeling comes with stillness. Now, without all this busyness, we can give our children the opportunity to explore their imaginations and deal with the uncomfortable emotions of boredom, anxiety, and stillness. Boredom will be hard for our children and will be hard for some of us adults too. With all the various streaming platforms and social media platforms to use, video games, everything readily available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To say that we're going to unplug is not something that it's gonna, it seems unnatural in this time. So instead of turning to screens, let's try some physical puzzles. Let's try some board games. Let's try reading a book during free time. It may actually mean creating that free time, but it is necessary for us to maintain a level of overall health. Now, engaging in this way can help us adults and our children to stay in the moment. And being in the moment is important, because now you are aware of what is happening with you. You're a little bit more aware of what is happening with others around you. And you become what is considered to be more intuitive. Slow down. Absorb what you're doing. Breathing deeply instead of taking quick, shallow breaths. It will no doubt take a few days, weeks, maybe, to get away from that feeling of discomfort and to adjust into this new strategy, this new strange way of life. But it's not impossible. Boredom is sacred. We shouldn't deny our children the experience of boredom. There's a suggestion to scribble on a piece of paper some big picture values and skills that you want to see in your children. And maybe some that you want to even refresh in your own life. Things like compassion, resourcefulness, empathy, communication skills. Then come up with simple conversations and simple ways that you can use this time to help your children to decompress and embed these values back into all of our lives. Get together with your children. Find a way to do something kind for old people in the community, for example. You can mail homemade letters. Yeah, the art of writing and mailing, using the mail to send out communication, that's gone because we're now texting, we're emailing. Get together, let's write a letter. Get some envelopes and get stamps and write them, get the addresses and send them out. That's practical. That's connective. And don't think that there is a right or a wrong way to do it, because we're all learning this new way of living. Some days will go well, some days not so well. But as long as you keep going, that is the important thing. Try to use this time to get to know your family a little bit better, while at the same time giving each other enough space to spend time alone. Look up from the screens every now and then. Make some connections with the people around you. You just might be surprised at what you discover.
I'll be home in a minute. Not take no time for change it's date night. I feel like dancing tonight, it's date night. Alright, tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like. Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Oh, na, na, na. I wanna see you smile, that makes me forget what kind of a hectic day I had at work and get lost in your essence. I wanna feel your body rock and sway to some reggae, the DJ play inside a club where no one knows our name. Your warm embrace, your tenderness is reassuring. It's gonna be alright, you whispering in my ear. Believe every word you say as I let you have your way. Go get dressed, baby, I'll wait. Tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress.
In the midst of creating a new normal, take some time out to have a date night. And it doesn't have to be that romantic date night. It could just be that moment where you connect with your friends, you connect with your family members. Have a date night.
This 9 to 5 got me away with all the deadlines with postquarters. Now my supervisor's breathing down my neck. The thing that gets me through the day are thoughts of you, just knowing somebody so beautiful is waiting there for me. Your warm embrace, your tenderness is reassuring. It's gonna be alright, you're whispering in my ear.
Believe every word you say as I let you have your way. Go get dressed, baby, I'll wait. So tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress, you know I like. Let's
The sound of Steven Sosa.
get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel.
It's called Date Night.
Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on the dress, you know I like. Let's
Steven Souza, isn't it? S-O-U-Z-A.
go somewhere.
Or Z, depending on where you're coming from. I want to say thanks to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show, the broadcast. Old habits die hard. GMAT Music Solutions brings your event to life, providing sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-305-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. Or visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com. You can also do your online shopping there. And when you connect with them, tell them, hey, listen, I heard about you on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Talk to me. Tell me what you can do for me. I have an event coming up. What can you provide?
You wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress, you know I like. Let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like. Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on the dress, you know I like. Let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere.
To make the world go round. Even though we know it takes hate to make it all tumble down. Yeah. We know that what goes up don't always come back down. No, but when it goes around, we know it's have to come back around. So if you're digging one pit, my brother, better you just dig two. And if you're setting one trap, my sister, set another one for you. Don't you know things are always never what they seem? No, my reality could sometimes be your dreams. Yeah. The more we are together,
This is the sound of Mr. Ed Robinson.
we shall be. The more we stand together,
That's the title of the track.
the stronger we.
The more we are together.
Yes, the more we are together.
I want to welcome you to Musical Therapy. Those of you just joining in, better late than never.
We stand together, the stronger we shall be. Yeah. Instead of building walls, let's build bridges instead. Instead of fighting wars, let peace go ahead. Remember, today is for you, but tomorrow's for me. The light has been shining for you. Don't be so blind to see. Yeah, things are always never what they seem. No, my reality could sometimes be your dream. The more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be. Yes, the more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be.
The closer I get to you, baby, the more you make me see. By giving me all you got.
This is the sound of Sonia working out with Tony Gold.
Over and over again.
The rendition of Closer I Get to You.
Said that we could never be more than friends. And all the while inside I
Lying here next to you feels so good. Time just seems to fly, flying away. I'm needing you more and more. I'm needing you more. Let's give love a try. Come on, baby. Sweeter than sweeter love grows, and heaven's there for those who fool the tricks of time. With the heart to love, to find true love in a special way, baby, baby. The closer I get to you, the closer I get to you, babe. The more you make me see, by giving me all you got. Yes, baby, your love has captured me. Closer again, yeah, closer again, closer again, closer again, closer again.
Staring at your photograph, wondering where you're at today.
This is Anna Joanna Marie,
Been hanging by the telephone.
her rendition of Maybe, just maybe, we can try again.
You told me you needed more walks, more talks, more feeling close to me. I wanna be close to you. I didn't know you needed some.
This is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Stew.
I want your body next to mine.
Hey, come on over, Joe. I have space for you.
I've been staring at your photograph, wondering where you're at today.
Yeah, I've been looking at you too, you know.
Been hanging by the telephone, hoping that you'll call home and stay.
Boy, I run out of credit, you know, Joanna.
You told me you needed more walks, more talks, more feeling close to me. I wanna be close to you. I didn't know you needed some roses, some romance, a little candlelight, slow dance. That's not how it's been. Maybe we can try again. Try. Maybe we can try again. I remember all the days gone by, and I'm wondering what I couldn't see. Yeah, baby. I could search the whole world over and never find what you have always given me. I told you I needed more time, more space, more freedom, free to do. Boy, what you wanna do? I gave you no roses, no romance, no candlelight, no slow dance. That's just how it's been. Maybe we can try again. Try. Maybe we can try again. Try. Oh, maybe we can try again. I remember when you told me you needed more walks, more talks, more feeling close to me. I wanna be close to you. I'll give you some roses, lot of romance, a little candlelight, slow dance. Don't let this feeling end. Maybe we can try again. Try. Maybe we can
can try again. Try. Maybe we can try. Kiss me, touch me slowly, baby. Rock me steady, move me.
This is Miss China Nicole.
It's been a week and then I can't sleep.
It's called Kiss.
Taking over me. I try to sugarcoat it with a little honey. I'm really missing my baby. Round and round we go. When will you come home? How I miss you so. Been too long since you kissed me, touch me slowly, baby. Rock me steady, move me crazy. A mellow candlelight, the fire is burning. Your wish is my delight. Whatever you are yearning. It's been a weekend and I can't sleep. What is taking over me? I try to sugarcoat it with a little honey. I'm really needing you, baby. Kiss me, touch me slowly, baby. Rock me steady, move me crazy. Ooh, it's a wonderful feeling. Need you home again, oh baby. Such a marvelous feeling to need you home again. I need you waiting for you tonight. Rock on tonight. Make you see my other side. Yes, I'm on here tonight. Be rude tonight, so enjoy the ride. I'm gonna be.
This is a dazzling one.
Rock on tonight.
Shauna Dazzle.
Make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood.
Show me that other side, Shauna.
Tonight.
Go on. Just be rude.
Sipping on some wine. I'm feeling so fine. Waiting for you to come over. Watching the time when you on my mind. It's gonna be a night to remember. We're on the phone, but I'm feeling alone. It's good to know you got the cure. I hope you'll be here real soon, 'cause I've got a lot in store. It's my intention to keep you begging for more. I'm gonna be bad tonight, broke on tonight. Make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood tonight to be rude tonight. So enjoy the ride. I'm gonna be bad tonight, rock on tonight, and make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood tonight to be rude tonight. Tonight is the night. We'll just enjoy each other like there's no tomorrow. I don't wanna see you leave, and I don't wanna see you at all. You bought me flowers, and you say you're staying for hours. Well, you know that's fine with me. I'm gonna drive you crazy. Why I'm feeling bad tonight. I don't wanna play like a lady. I'm waiting.
sound of Shauna Dazzle, member of SDS, Sensational Dynamic Sound. You know, I was tempted to do something else. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move from Shauna Dazzle as a member of SDS, Sensational Dynamic Sound, to the group SDS with their monster hit, their breakout hit. It's called Woman in Love. As we enjoy our musical therapy. We have 10 minutes left. So it's not just the women in love that will do some strange things from time to time. This is Hezron, maximum speed for all the Hezites.
Session stop, everything drop. My baby just text me a picture on the WhatsApp. And I know me nearly have a attack. Oh, she fit do something like that. When she knows high blood pressure runs in my family. And now I need her like a baby needs its mommy. I'm coming maximum speed to fulfill your needs. It's my guarantee. And baby, I'm a coming fate, everywhere it clash. Coming, was a she but like it. I can't wait, she's sizzling hot. Hey, I'm coming, maximum speed. You don't deserve an excuse, baby. I'm coming right away. Let me run every step. Gonna wait on the green light. No, no, sir. Daily bounce down all the herbs, man. Yeah. Could I never have none of fresh, no green? No, 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 no.
The son of Mr. Vegas.
She can't take in a love triangle, but we love like she start gamble. We feel it from the heart to me uncle. When she said she give another man a sample.
Talk about coming at maximum speed.
Me woman get caught up in a man's lane. Entanglement.
This is why you must drive with care. You hear?
Us woman who like your season. September we can come in, come and fear August like come and fear August.
New music from MV
I know me still a wonder if I'm
called Entanglement.
I know she make a man roll me. The one that wickeder than Cain and Abel. She done cougar and a rock cradle. She let a young jack in at the stable and make him eat at the table. Entanglement. Me woman get caught up in another man's lane. Entanglement. Entanglement. August woman cool like your season. That one that rip me down my chest like a rock stone. Me did think the woman was my ribs and my bone. Now she get caught up in a love zone. It seems me have to get a shot at testosterone. It's gonna take so long, so long, so long, so long, so long for me to get this off of me mind. Oh, me never see no sign. Entanglement. Me woman get caught up in another man's lane. Entanglement. Entanglement. August woman cool like your season. Entanglement.
Tonight is the night that you
When you get entangled,
be a woman.
these are the things that can happen, you know.
You said you'll be gentle with me,
You
and
can transform the life of a person altogether. This is Dottie.
I'm nervous and trembling,
Another member of SDS.
waiting for you to walk in. I'm trying hard to relax, but I just can't keep still. No, I can hear your car just slam. I wanna play a big girl and put on a sexy smile, but I know so little about what love is, and I just can't help acting like a child. You're knocking on my door and you're ringing my bell. Hope you're not impatient after waiting so very long. A whole year I put you off with my silly hang-ups, and we're both old enough to know right from wrong. Tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Ooh, you said you'll be gentle with me, and I hope you will. I'm nervous and trembling, waiting for you to walk in. I'm trying hard to
the sound of the other member of SDS. This is Suzanne Sultry with her rendition of Crazy. Let's see. With the entanglement on a night like this, it'll make you go crazy. I want to thank you all for tuning in. So I got to bounce on out of here. Remember, catch me tomorrow at same time, same place, 10 to midnight. KevinStew.com, Reggae Global Radio, Pulse, EMG TV, EMG TV, and of course, again, KevinStew.com. As we close out the night shift week with real talk. You don't want to miss it. But I can come Persian.
Crazy for thinking that my love can hold you.
In the meantime, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, good night.
And crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love can hold you. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted. And then someday you leave me for somebody new.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on KevinStew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.